Hello, I'm Alexandra and welcome back to my channel. Today I decided to talk a bit about some of my favorite books because I read a lot, so obviously I have some favorite books, and I decided to do a little twist on my favorite classics. I used to read a lot of classics, not anymore because just been busy and classics tend to be longer to read, so I haven't read a classic in a long time actually. I think the last one I read was Emma by Jane Austen, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, it's been years at this point, but I picked up 8 classics that I think are amazing and I think that people should read. Also, these are the books I actually own, so there are other classics that might be very good to read. So if you're interested in knowing what classic I think people should read, just tell me, but for now it's gonna be my favorite classics. So we'll start with French classics. So we have Les Trois Mousquetaires by Alexandre Dumas. This is a thick one, but I feel like most people know, so in English it would be The Three Musketeers. It's a long one, but I think it was an easy read, if I should say. But if you read it in French, be prepared, because if French is not your first language, there are some weird verbs in this, so be prepared for that. But otherwise, this is very fun. So you're following these well, it's been a long time since I've read this, but I think you have 3 or 4 people, I mean the 3 musketeers, and they're going through many things that are happening to them, and you follow them as you go. But I think the writing is very great, so, and the story is a great one, so I think this is for sure my favorite French classic. Then we'll move on to Russian classics. I've read a bunch of Russian classics because I was really very interested into knowing more about Russian culture, Russian history. I've also learned some Russian, but yeah, my favorite writer is Leo Tolstoy, and he's my favorite. And also my cat is named Leo because of Tolstoy, so you know, just to give you a little context as to why I think Anna Karenina has to be one of my favorite classics. It's again a thick one, and I don't know if you saw, maybe you saw the movie with Keira Knightley. Amazing movie, the story is great. I saw someone recently say that, you know, it's not that much about Anna Karenina. You're following a lot of people. Sorry. So you're following all of these people that are like aristocrats in Russia in the 19th century, I think. Anyway, so you're not following that much Anna Karenina. You're still following her because everybody that you learn about in this story that you're following is linked to Anna Karenina one way or another, and also it's very sad what's happening to her. Also note that Leo Tolstoy criticized the high society of that time. He's closer to what I would say a communist, so you know, he criticized a lot of these people. But yeah, it's a great book. If you're not afraid of long books, I think you should read it, or at least listen to it. If I'm not mistaken, the audiobook is 24 hours long, but that could be a way to get into that reading, because I have another favorite book by Tolstoy. It is War and Peace. This is an amazing copy that my boyfriend got me. Absolutely beautiful. But as you can see, it's a thick one. In this, you're following some people as they go through war. Obviously, look at this. It's so nice. Anyway, yeah, this has been said by a historian that this is actually a great portrait of that war. So I believe it's the war where Napoleon Bonaparte walked into Russia, if I'm not mistaken. I know a bit of history, but you know, it's been a long while too since I've read that. So, but I believe that it's that war. So you're following all these people as they fight, and yeah, just I love Leo Tolstoy writing. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, it's also written short stories, which are not my favorite, but they could be an easier way to get into Tolstoy. Now I'll pick the book that failed. Okay. Then we have some English classics. I have four. We'll start with this one, Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. I love when I read about society, but in a way where the writer is actually criticizing the society. So in this you would, I mean, most of you know about Frankenstein, but for me this is about criticizing standard, like beauty standards, you know. So I absolutely love that one. Also, can we talk about this? So nice. This is the Barnes and Noble classic edition. But yeah, yeah, the story of Frankenstein is well known. It's just, for me, it's about criticizing society, which is always a win for me when I read classics. As you can see, so far there's been some criticizing. Then we have, I can't pronounce this word, okay? So, Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. The first time I read that book was in French. It's called Les Hauts du Hurlevent. And again, it's criticizing society. I'm not into like gothic type of books, but this one worked for me. I think it was the writing. The writing was great, and also because I read it in French, it's a bit different, so you know. I don't think I've read it in English actually, but this copy is pretty. I used to, oh, it's dark. Anyway, I used to buy a bunch of copies of books that I already owned because I wanted prettier copies, so this is one of it. But yeah, I remember it's a weird love story. I don't think people should try to replicate those love stories, you know, don't do that. But I think this is great. I loved it, and maybe one day I'll reread it. Maybe it's gonna be a challenge. Maybe not this year, but maybe next year I'll try to reread some classics that I enjoyed, because it's always nice. Then we have Jane Austen. Jane Austen, I absolutely love Jane Austen. I have, you can see it, but I have edition. I did a Jane Austen collection, so I'll put it up there if you want to see it. But in the books I decided to talk about, it was Persuasion. Also, this is a pink copy. I love pink. You're following this girl who falls in love with the wrong guy. I mean, you could say it's the wrong guy. But yeah, I don't know, it felt different. I've read a bunch of Jane Austen. I have almost read everything. But this felt different. Also, I don't know if you saw the movie Persuasion with Dakota Johnson, but that was so funny. And if you haven't seen it, you should see it. But first, read the book because it's a great book. Then we have classic that's very popular, Pride and Prejudice. This has to be my favorite Jane Austen. Absolutely love it. I mean, Mr. Darcy is... And also the movie. So great. Again, it's Keira Knightley, so you can see a bit of like, I love that actress. I should see what she's been up to because I have no idea, but the book Pride and Prejudice, very good. This is the first like English classic that I've read in English, so that was hard, but now it's way easier because my English is improved. But also, if you read more in French, you should read it in French because it's an English classic, so it's harder to read, but so worth it. Absolutely love it. Then for the last one, I decided to go with a modern classic because I feel like, you know, we talk about classics. For me, it's around the 19th century. Most of the classics that I like are from the 19th century. But I decided to talk about The Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini. You're following this young guy in Afghanistan in the peak of the war, and it's just so sad, and I love that type of book. I've read so many where you're following these people into wars. It's absolutely heartbreaking, and just, you know, you learn so much that you don't actually know, because nowadays we talk more about wars and about everything that's been happening in the world, but before it wasn't that, like, people wouldn't talk about it. So I feel like literature that talks about that is so important and very good. So this will be my last classic that I absolutely love, modern classic. I've also loved a bunch of other modern classics, but decided to just talk about this one because there are a couple of wars happening right now, so, you know, just reading about that is a great way. But yeah, these are my 8 favorite classics, and obviously I think you should read it, but if you want more in depth of the classics I think you should read, just tell me and I'll do another video, because like I wouldn't suggest War and Peace to beginners. So just so you know. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.